Hey, what's up guys? Lou here, and I just want to have a quick talk about creativity, storytelling, specifically in movies. Me being a writer, well, trying to be a writer, um, my brain always has to kind of keep going. It never sleeps. So people always ask me, what's my motivation? Um, well, just like, years ago when I would, make music, well, even now, but it's kind of industrial stuff. Anyway, um, I try to pull things from either my life or just, you know, books, subjects I like, things I see day to day, or history, one of my favorite subjects, and I kind of make it work. You know what I mean? Gets the cranks turning up there, and I churn something out. I'm not gonna harp too much about Hollywood. I feel like I've done too many bashings on Hollywood, so I'm not gonna bore you guys with that again. I just really wish some agent or whatever would just fall from the sky and be like, "Hey, we're gonna take one of your stories," but it's not. I could work my ass off. I still think they would pass it over. Anyway, I'm not saying I'm some kind of genius here. I'm just saying, goddamn, where is the originality? Now, sometimes you come across that really good movie, and you're like, where the fuck have you been all my life? It's few and far between. But sometimes you're like, wow, I'm freaking impressed. And other times, you build up all this expectation, and it just falls flat. I had three stories in different time periods, and what I did is I pulled from, not almost say real events in history. Okay, some events that happened and just twisted them. You guys all familiar with Babylon, the city that burned, city of sin, all that stuff. Whatever, you probably know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I had a Roman legion stationed there, and they were systematically being attacked by vampires, pretty much. So yeah, you know, I don't think it's been done before. I mean the vampire thing's been done before, but you know, um, having in that kind of time period and having a bunch of Roman legionnaires fight them off. I don't know. I think it'd be pretty interesting. Or a werewolf movie in Byzantium, like in Constantinople. Some werewolf terrorizing a bunch of villages. That would work. Or a plague that resurrects the dead. Medieval zombies in ancient Venice. And have them terrorize Italy. Hey, look, all these could work, whatever. But whatever. My point is, um, I pull stuff from things that people would normally overlook or think it's, possibly boring, and I try to, make it crazy, like spice it up a little bit. Hey, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't work. Now, like I was talking to you guys about before, you come across a few movies in your life that are like great. Now, I don't mean these A-plus movies, like the Spielberg stuff, Star Wars, for example, which is sadly doing a downward spiral. I blame it all on Disney. Just saying. Um, yeah, you come across these, movies or video games in life, and you're like, yeah, and they can never be redone. They could have sequels, prequels, spiritual spin-offs, but they never come close to the original. But anyway, I just want to introduce to you guys a movie that was filmed in the 70s from an Italian director, Dario Argento. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but he was like, you know, this really vivid Italian director who was big into like these giallo films. Giallo is yellow in Italian, and basically they were the cover of thriller novels in Italy, and they were borderline horror. And so what he did is he made these, giallo movies, these thriller movies, and introduced a lot of crazy elements, horror stuff, gore, violence, just up the ante, and you know, people like that stuff, and it really took off, not just in his home country, but you ask a horror fan today in America, who's Dario Argento, and what's your favorite film, and I'm sure they'll give you a list. So anyway, I just want to show you one of these films right now. It's called Suspiria. Yes. Now the reason why I bring this up was because I was actually uh, traveling today using Lyft, and the driver actually mentioned we were having a conversation, and he mentioned this actually, but not this particular one. This is 1970s. There was a remake recently. I don't know if you guys seen the trailer. Maybe you have. But this movie was remade, and apparently he liked it. And the way he described it, it sounded cool. I'm normally not into remakes because they could spell doom for the original film, but or it could bring a new interest into them. So anyway, I hope that's what happens to here. But anyway, this is it's actually kind of like a special edition. They just re-released this not too long ago. Basic story. This young girl goes to this real pristine dancing school, like a ballet school in Germany, and every night goes by, something weird happens. People go missing, violent deaths. And she realized this school, this dance school, is a coven for witches. And I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but it goes on from there. And pretty weird psychological slash violent horror stuff, goes down. It's a classic film. You'll probably see the Blu-ray of the remake coming out, which is the same premise, just modernized, I guess. And hopefully, I haven't seen it yet, but from other people say it was okay, it was great, and well, I'll hold into that. I'll check it out. But yeah, if you're looking for something, that'll kind of catch your interest. Another thing about this, Dario Argento, the director of this film, he loved visuals. He's really big, so like there's weird camera angles, stuff that'll, there's always something going on, so you won't be bored, even if it's just like a dialogue scene. And the way the murder scenes are very stylish, and it just works. I mean, it's great. Just don't take my word for it. Definitely look this up here. Just wanna a little close up there, So yeah, that's one. Now let's get into this year. Okay, not quite this year. Between 2017, 2018, a lot of hit or misses. Some really good ones, some really bad ones. But this one I'm about to show you, I personally liked. Scary wise, nothing really scares me. I'm kind of like, desensitized by now. But it has one of them endings where I'm a big ending guy. Like, the movie could suck up until the ending, and that could be like the Hail Mary, It could be very rewarding. So I'm just going to show you this one right here. It's not a graphic, violent film as far as gore, but the shocks and the WTF moments are there. I don't know, I'm trying to compare it to something. The Exorcist, just without the whole, levitating bed and spinning head parts. Well, there's some, decapitations, but I'll touch on that later, or you could just see it for yourself. Hereditary. I'm sure you guys heard about this one. Some people like it, some people don't like it, but I don't know. I think you're missing out. If you want to look for something, I want to say original because it is a, the whole the whole premise is it's not so I'm sure if I tell you it, you guys are like, oh yeah, I heard that before. Wasn't that a movie? Just check it out. So basically, this family are mourning the loss of their grandmother, and going through like a whole mourning, stage. Like, oh, poor grandmom, remember this, this, and that. Something weird happens. The son kind of, being a like depressive state, he drags his, well, he's kind of forced to drag his sibling, his sister, to a party. Things go wrong, and another death happens. I don't want to go too full into spoilers, but I can't really, tell you guys the story without spoiling that part. But it gets worse. Let me tell you, this movie is like a downward spiral. So you watch this family pretty much unravel, and the whole process, and it just it's very unnerving. This director, he's really not that known. I think this might be his like first or second film, and it was mind blowing. Think of like the like I was said, like the Exorcist. How it just kind of had that feeling of a dread. Nothing felt right. Everything was uneasy. That's what this film is. It's filled with dread from the camera angles, everything. Let me show you the back real quick. It's just really dark. There's no you know, what I call the hero effect. Any rewarding, uplifting thing that happens in this film, and I do mean that. It's rough. Just put it that way. Um, yeah, it's a hell of a ride. I do mean hell. There's some dark, evil shit going on in that movie that after you watch it, you're like it'll make you think. It'll be like what the heck just happened? What the hell was that? You might need to watch it again. I don't know, but if you appreciate horror as a whole entity and not just for the blood and guts, then Hereditary is definitely the way to go. And for this movie to come out when it did, it was definitely didn't get much play. I think a few independent theaters. I mean, it did play in the mainstream theaters, but just didn't have that run. I think it kind of missed its mark with that. But the people that did see it, I mean, it's really kind of like cut in the middle. Some people are like, I seen better. And other people are like, oh my god, this was fantastic. Um, I'm not a follower of Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. I just don't give a shit. If you like a movie, you like a movie. I have a slew collection of B movies that I cherish because it's like a once in a lifetime thing. Sure, it's a trashy movie, but it's like I don't know. You gotta appreciate filmmaking, I think. But like I said, this movie, from just the way the director unravels the story in front of you, the horror and the shock. It's kind of a slow burn, but there's some scenes in there that it just it's like, what is going on? What did I just see? It's kind of like that, and yeah, I can't recommend it enough. But yeah, like I said, sometimes you get movies like this that just come out of the blue, and they hit the right audience at the right time, and it's sensational and it's great. But it's also like the best kept secret too. I love independent movies. Because I feel like the director, with working with so little, he has to kind of really get the gears going and create something epic there. Tell me about it. Do you like them? Do you like these selections? If you've seen them already, do you like Hereditary? I know some of you have seen Hereditary. I'm just dying to know what you guys feel like about it. I never really, put a title on my channel. It's kind of like a everything, everything goes pretty much. Movie reviews, political talk, um, and what I did is I broke everything up in sections, like in my little playlist, not to confuse you guys. So it's not that chaotic. My channel, it's kind of organized in a way where you can kind of figure out what the hell's going on. Comment, link, subscribe. I have a multitude of media on my channel, and it's a little something for everybody. So yeah, don't be shy. Check it out. Yeah, and that's really all I gotta say. Thanks for watching, and see you all next time. Peace.